Hey y'all, this video is going to be on abortion. First of all, I want to say respect the babies. Second of all, I want to say that every baby has a destiny. Every conception that happens of a child, they have a destiny. Every soul has a destiny. From the moment of conception, 2 weeks later, the baby's heart begins to beat. That means that that child is alive. That means that child has a soul and a spirit, okay? I didn't preach about this much before because I didn't know who was going to become president, but babies are humans. An unborn baby is a human. Literally, from 2 weeks after that baby is conceived, from the moment that the sperm meets the egg, 2 weeks later, its heart begins to beat. How? I don't know. Somehow it already has a little tiny heart. But that's something that I learned way back when I was in high school. Is it true? I don't know. I don't know how scientists even know that. Basically, so the sperm meets the egg, and then cells multiply, duplicate. Literally within 2 weeks, it's just like a little tiny microscopic baby, human. At 2 weeks, it's a human. Yes, it is extremely small, almost microscopic. Who cares? It's still a human. And it has a beating heart. I feel like if it has a beating heart, it has a soul, it's a human. Yeah, so the implication is that abortion should only be within 2 weeks of conception, right? Abortion should only be from 2 weeks and younger. And any abortion after that is murder. It's the same as going out on the street and shooting somebody with a gun. Most humans wouldn't do that. I'm going to say 100% of the population. Say you got a gun in your hand right now, there's some random person out there on the street. Who in their right mind would take that gun and go out and just shoot some random person on the street? Nobody. Because we all know that's wrong. But for some reason, a baby inside of a woman, we're like, yeah, what? Oh, so since you can't see them, they don't matter? No, they matter. It's the same thing. It is the same freaking thing. A baby inside of a woman is exactly the same as some random human out there on the street. Exactly the same. Yeah, or the richest person in your city. I don't care. I don't care how much money the person has. We're all equal. All men are created equal. Rich and poor, old and young, unborn and born, baby, middle age, old, we should all matter. You know? We should all matter. A human is a human. A person is a person, no matter how small. Dr. Seuss came up with that line. A person is a person. Abortion is murder. You know? It's wrong. Any killing of a baby after 2 weeks is wrong. Why does it happen? I don't know. I think a lot of times women are in love with their job. Maybe they're in love with their boss, honestly. I mean, I had a crush on a couple of my bosses. Seriously, maybe that's why women get abortions. They're like, no, then I can't see my boss anymore. Like, who cares? I'm sure he's a total jerk, and he's an arrogant piece of crap. If you really knew him, maybe you just haven't seen his dark side yet. You haven't seen his ugly side yet. Wait until he shows you his true colors. Ladies, you're not going to be in love with your boss anymore. I saw the ugly side of all my bosses, and I was like, what the heck is wrong with them? Yeah, women worship their jobs. They worship their bosses. They think that their job and their boss is so much better than having a baby and raising a baby. Yeah, right. Yeah, and then they probably have seen the movie Boss Baby, and they're like, oh my gosh, my baby's going to be my boss. Oh, well, at least he's cuter. Yeah, and at least if he's grumpy, it's not like he can't help it. It's totally different. You know, when a baby's mean, it's not because they're mean, it's because it's hard to be a baby. It's hard to be a baby. You're totally dependent on somebody and on other people for everything. But your boss, he has no excuse. Bosses have no excuse for being a jerk. Yeah, maybe they have a lot of responsibility. So what? They need to suck it up and deal with it. I saw a lot of bosses not handle stress very well, but Yeah, I've always said, you haven't worked until you've worked a Friday night in a pizza store. That's work, man. That's work. But still, there's no excuse. Adults should always be courteous and respectful. Anyways, women need to stop running away from being moms. They need to stop having abortions. They need to accept their fate. As I just wrote about, the fate of every woman is to raise at least one child. Every woman should have at least one child. Every man should get to have at least one child. I feel like that's like a human right, you know? And it's just like a basic need. Like, it's a basic desire of every human to have at least one copy of themselves. One mini-me, you know? I got to have 2 daughters, so I had 2 mini-me's. And then now I gave my baby daddy a mini-me, and I hope that overall he appreciates it. But anyways, abortion's wrong. It's evil. Women need to just go ahead and raise their baby. Stop being lazy. I think that's what it is too. Like, either they're in love with their boss and they're in love with their job, or they're lazy and they don't want to work, which is ridiculous. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with yourself if you're not working a job and you have a boss, or you're not raising kids? Just, like, what are you going to do all day? Nothing. There's nothing to do. There's nothing that matters. Nothing that you do matters if you're not making money or raising children. Period, hands down, end of discussion. Everybody knows that. And God told me before I had my son, God explicitly told me, either you work a job and make money, or make children and raise children. But recently God's been telling me 1 kid is fine, so I'm good with my 1 kid. I'm not all for families having 12 kids. It's ridiculous. I prayed about it when I was pregnant. I was like, God, why would anybody have more than 1 kid? And God told me because they're selfish or they're greedy. And I was like, what? I was like, greedy for what? But obviously, the more kids you have, potentially they could grow up someday and get jobs and make money for you, the parent. But that's kind of silly. I guess that's how a lot of people see their kids. Like, ooh, the more kids I have, the more slaves I have. Like, okay. Sure. But, I mean, yeah, that doesn't apply anymore because people don't have, like, farms. Like, it used to be that, you know, the more kids you have, they would go out and help you with your farm. Nobody has a farm anymore. Nobody really needs tons of kids. Now, yeah. And this is why people are afraid to have kids, because now a kid is more a negative rather than a positive when it comes to money, because kids can't start working until they're 14, so then you have 14 years of pouring into that kid and investing in that kid. But then when they're 14, they can go work somewhere. My first job was a summer camp counselor, and then I worked at Petco. But that's not why people should have kids. People shouldn't have kids thinking like, oh, they're going to grow up and make tons of money for me. No, people should have kids because, I don't know, yeah, because they love people and they want to create another person. And because they want to create a good person. You know, I think us women, we're out there in the work world and we get tired of all the evil. We get tired of all the evil people and we're like, you know what, I'm going to make a good human. And that's what every mother's goal should be, to make a good human. And there's not enough good humans in the world. I mean, are there any? There's not very many. There are very, very few good humans in the world. I know, I've been everywhere. I've been in California, I've been in Nebraska, I've been in Texas, I've been in Australia, I went to India, I've been to Taiwan. There's very few good people. Very few people that other people should imitate. I think I'm a good person. I think people should imitate me. But the majority of people that I have seen in my life are just like, wow. Seriously? So this is why it's good to raise good, tiny humans. But yeah, it doesn't need to be en masse. You know, people don't need to have 10 kids. You can raise one. One person can do a lot more than people realize. I mean, just look at everything I've done in my life. I've written 40 books. I've tried to save a lot of people. It's quite possible that I've saved 10,000 people throughout the course of my life. Why? Because I'm really good at talking. And, yeah. But I guess I'll just find out when I get to heaven. But I'm pretty sure that's the number. You work hard at something, you're gonna produce fruit, you know? And ever since I was 14, 26 years, I've been trying to save people in every way that I could. I mean, I could have tried harder, but I guess the main thing that I did was I made Jesus packets. I started making those when my daughter was 1, when my firstborn was 1. Because my goal was to make the world a better place for my daughter. And this is also why women need to have kids, because then they're thinking about the world. They're thinking about America and everywhere. Every country around the world matters, because the future of America and the future of the world is your child's future. So you want the world to be a better place for your kid. So anyway, so I started making Jesus packets, and they were goodie bags with candy, Bible tracts, a bracelet that I made. Because I was thinking, if I can save everybody, if I can make everybody Christian, yeah, there'll be less child molesters. There will be less domestic violence. You know? If I could make everybody Christian, then all the evil would go away. You know? All the evil. All the evil. My whole life I've wanted all the evil to go away. And I've worked really hard. And maybe someday it will. I mean, ultimately not until heaven, but maybe someday all the evil people will want to become good. And then I'll say, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. You know? Anyways, I hope you guys will consider having that goal for your life too, and that vision and that plan. Make all the evil people good. Do it for your kids. Do it for your grandkids. God loves you all. God bless. Bye.